The Honda NAVI occupies a peculiar and charming niche in the powersports world. Part scooter, part mini-moto, entirely its own thing. In just a few years on the US market, it has become one of the nation's best-selling motorcycles, thanks to its unique blend of scooter-like simplicity and motorcycle-inspired styling. But is it the right bike for you? Here is a balanced look at 5 reasons to love it and 5 reasons to think twice.
Perhaps the most compelling argument for the NAVI is what it does to your bank account, or rather, what it doesn't do. The NAVI base carries an MSRP of just $2,199, making it one of the most affordable new motorcycles on the American market. Buyers who want a splash of color can opt for the painted versions in Arctic Silver Metallic, Pearl Red, or Blue Metallic for $2,344. In an era when even entry-level motorcycles routinely push past $5,000, the NAVI feels almost rebelliously affordable. For a first-time rider who wants to explore two-wheel life without committing a car payment's worth of cash, or for a seasoned rider who wants an inexpensive urban runabout, this price point is genuinely hard to argue with. Add in Honda's legendary reliability, and the low cost of ownership becomes even more attractive. This is not a bike you will lie awake worrying about, financially or mechanically.
Riding a motorcycle with a manual clutch and gearbox demands a real learning curve. Stalling at intersections, fumbling for neutral, misjudging the friction zone, these are rites of passage that can also be genuinely stressful for new riders. The NAVI eliminates all of that entirely. The continuous variable transmission requires no clutch or shifting. Simply start the vehicle, twist the throttle, and go. This twist-and-go simplicity is borrowed directly from the scooter world, but delivered in a motorcycle-style package that feels far more engaging than a typical step-through commuter. For urban riding, where you are constantly stopping and starting, the automatic transmission transforms the experience. You can focus entirely on traffic awareness, lane positioning, and enjoying the ride instead of managing gears. It's a feature that makes the NAVI genuinely accessible to people who might otherwise never consider motorcycling. With fuel prices remaining volatile and urban commuting costs steadily rising, the NAVI's efficiency figures deserve a standing ovation. Honda's tested fuel mileage rating for the NAVI is an extraordinary 110.3 miles per gallon, a number that makes even the most fuel-efficient compact cars look thirsty. The smooth-running, quiet power plant comes from the acclaimed Activa scooter platform and features Honda's super-efficient ESP, Enhanced Smart Power, friction-reducing technology. For a daily commuter covering 20 or 30 miles, this kind of efficiency means fueling up perhaps once every 2 weeks or more. The environmental benefits are real too. Honda's Ecotech engine design is built with environmental consciousness as a core principle, not merely an afterthought. If running costs and carbon footprint matter to you, the NAVI makes a compelling case for itself every single time you pass a gas station. One of the classic frustrations of motorcycle ownership is the lack of storage. Helmets go on your head, everything else requires a bag, a rack, or creative problem solving. The NAVI takes a clever approach borrowed from its scooter DNA. Because the engine is located at the rear, like a scooter, space in front of the seat is freed up for a convenient, lockable 15-liter storage pod, perfect for stashing textbooks, a jacket, or a water bottle. The spacious, lockable built-in storage compartment fits a laptop, lunch, and more. This detail transforms day-to-day usability. Running errands, commuting to work, or heading to class all become more practical when you have a secure, weatherproof place to put your things. Honda also offers optional accessories, including a windscreen for added comfort and a rear rack for increased storage. For a bike at this price point, that level of practicality is genuinely impressive. The NAVI is not just a utility device, it has genuine character. For styling inspiration, Honda looked to its own Grom, the most successful mini-moto on the market, resulting in a sporty motorcycle look and feel, with the rider's legs straddling the fuel tank and feet placed on side-mounted pegs rather than the scooter-style floorboard design. It looks like a motorcycle,
It feels like a motorcycle, but it's friendly and approachable in a way that many full-size bikes aren't. Beyond the style, the NAVI serves as a blank canvas for personalization. Like the Grom, the NAVI's design makes it a natural candidate for customization, with a long list of aftermarket offerings available for Honda miniMOTO machines. Whether you want to add luggage, change the aesthetics, or simply make the bike feel uniquely yours, the ecosystem of parts and accessories is already well developed. In a market full of generic-looking commuters, the NAVI has a soul. Everything has a cost, and the NAVI's affordability and simplicity come at the price of outright performance. At its core, the NAVI features a 109cc air-cooled single-cylinder 4-stroke engine. That is a very small displacement, and while it is entirely adequate for calm urban riding at low speeds, it becomes a serious limitation in other contexts. Highway riding is essentially not an option. The NAVI lacks the power to maintain safe freeway speeds, and attempting to do so even in moderate traffic would be genuinely dangerous. Even on faster urban arterials and roads with 50 or 60 miles per hour limits, the NAVI will feel stretched. Riders who live in sprawling cities where commuting involves any significant highway segment will quickly find themselves frustrated by the ceiling. The engine is reliable and efficient, but it was not designed to move fast, and no amount of wishing will change that.
In 2026, drum brakes on both wheels are a specification that raises eyebrows. Most motorcycles at even slightly higher price points have moved to disc brakes, which offer better feel, more progressive stopping power, and superior wet weather performance. The NAVI's braking system features 130mm drum units front and rear, and includes a combined braking system that distributes braking force between the wheels for more secure stops. The CBS does mitigate some of the concerns. In normal urban riding, the drums perform their job adequately. But in a sudden, hard stop, or in wet conditions, the difference between drums and discs becomes meaningful. For a bike used primarily by beginner riders who may not yet have perfect braking technique, the absence of disc brakes is a genuine safety consideration that Honda's competitors in similar price brackets have started to address. The extraordinary fuel economy figures are real, but there is a catch lurking in the specifications. The NAVI's fuel tank holds just 0.9 gallons. Even at 110 miles per gallon, that translates to a theoretical maximum range of under 100 miles before you need to stop for fuel. In practice, accounting for reserve fuel and real-world riding conditions, riders should plan for roughly 80 miles of usable range. For pure city commuting on short daily distances, this is not necessarily a problem. But for anyone who wants to use the NAVI for longer weekend rides, day trips, or any kind of touring, the small tank requires frequent stops. The irony is that the bike's efficiency is genuinely impressive, but the tank is too small to let that efficiency translate into real-world freedom from the pump.
Honda's marketing makes much of the NAVI's passenger-carrying ability. Sharing the fun with a friend is easy thanks to the standard passenger foot pegs, two-person seat, and grab rails. Technically accurate, yes, a second person can sit on the NAVI. Practically speaking, however, carrying a passenger on a 109cc engine and a 234-pound curb weight bike is an exercise in optimism over physics. Performance drops noticeably with two aboard. The already modest power reserve is stretched even thinner, and the ride quality suffers. The seat is compact, and the ergonomics were clearly designed primarily for a solo rider. While short, low-speed trips with a passenger are feasible, the NAVI should realistically be considered a solo commuter. Anyone who expects to regularly carry a passenger would be far better served by a more powerful, more generously proportioned machine.
Modern motorcycles, even affordable ones, have largely moved to fuel injection, and for good reason. Fuel injection is more reliable in varying temperatures, easier to start in cold weather, produces more consistent performance at altitude, and eliminates the periodic maintenance that carburetors demand. the NAVI still relies on a 16mm carburetor for its induction system. This is not a catastrophic flaw, and Honda's carburetors are well-engineered and durable, but it is a dated choice that creates real inconveniences, particularly for riders in colder climates who may deal with cold start difficulties, or riders who store the bike seasonally and return to find fuel varnish issues. It is the kind of technical compromise that makes sense only when viewed through the lens of keeping the price as low as possible, and it is worth factoring into your expectations before purchase.